Hello everybody and welcome back to the Crazy Train. Today I am going to be giving you my update for the project that I work on independently on my own, something I came up with called What's on Deck. Now before I get into that, I'm going to ask you to please do all of the things and you know what they are. Today we've got Luce over here behind me, and which way did Emmy go? Oh, there she is. We got both the girls. All right, so this project, if anybody ever wants to do it, just let me know. You can use it as a catch-all. That's what I do. This thing has been everything from I want to run through every lip liner in my collection to see what I still want to, hey, I want to try this brand new product that I got to see how I like it, or I want to put this eyeshadow in because I want to use this specific palette. I don't want to put it into a project. It can be whatever you need it to be. It can be, hey, I've got this old makeup that I want to see if it's still good. So we're going to just throw it all in there and go through them and just use them once. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It literally is whatever you need it to be. Anybody is free to join me. Let me know. Use the hashtag. What's on deck is simply all it is. Easy to find, easy to do. Wow. Okay, let's get these words out here. So what I did last month was brought in some foundations. I brought in, I have them backwards. I brought in 3 foundations. And I wanted to use, these were all new in the box. I wanted to use each of these just 3 times to just kind of see how I felt about them, what I thought. I have used the Ordinary before. I knew I liked it, but I had a brand new one in the box. I still have all the boxes. I didn't recycle them yet for some reason. And so I wanted to do kind of a comparison because a lot of times I'll just put a foundation in a project for however many uses, but I'm not necessarily comparing and contrasting. And that's what I wanted to do with these 3 because 2 of these are ones that I had never used before. So to begin, we have got the Ordinary Colors. It is the Serum Foundation in 1.2 pink undertones. I know I love this. I've been using this. The Ordinary stopped doing color cosmetics. They had started with a foundation and a concealer, and they have decided they are stepping away from color cosmetics. They will not be making them anymore. They are no longer available. There are a couple, like I think 2 really deep dark tones left on Ulta on clearance. I cannot get this. Do I have more? Absolutely. But I kind of want to know, I love this. I love using it. I think I've used this like 5 or 6 times. I went beyond the 3 definitely. But when this is gone, because this is the smallest of the 3 bottles, this is just a 1 ounce. When this is gone, what's going to be the closest thing to it? So the other one was the MAC Studio Radiance. This is the Face and Body Radiant Sheer Foundation. This is a 1.7 ounce, and this is in C1. Yeah, it's the lightest shade they make. Sensing a theme here? You should be. And then this one came in a mystery box that I got from little Amy G on Poshmark. I had done a high-end mystery box. We had been messaging back and forth. I was giving her some idea of some of the colors that I do use because I am either going to hit jackpot or find nothing with my coloring. And I don't know why. Because I am not the only pale person out there with cool undertones. I know I'm not, but I think it is a little bit less common. And now I know with shade range, having deep enough tones is a problem. I respect the crap out of everybody who's stepping up and going, okay, no, this isn't inclusive enough. As a teenager, until my almost mid-20s, I would just walk into the drugstore and buy the lightest foundation in whatever brand I felt like buying. It would usually be too dark, and it would often have the wrong undertone because there just wasn't anything available for me. When I was in my mid-20s, that's when I started using the Mary Kay stuff. Well, that's not drugstore. They had a much better shade range, and it was available. That might be the other thing. So companies may have been making it, but back in the day, you weren't ordering online. It didn't happen. I'm that old. And you got what was ever at your local store. You didn't have choices where you could go, oh, well, okay, they don't have it at my Walgreens, so I'm going to go onto the Walgreens app and just order it and have it mailed to me. Yeah, that didn't work. That didn't exist. We didn't even have cell phones when I was an early teen, when I was starting to wear makeup. Okay? All right. So then, anyway, I was messaging back and forth with Amy about what coloring I do have. And so she kind of asked me to go check and do like the color testing for NARS. And this is the one she came up with for me, or that I gave her the shade of, and this is what she had. It is okay, this is actually the Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturizer. It's not even technically a foundation. It has a broad spectrum of SPF 30 sunscreen. So this is also going to have an expiration on it, which means I do want to definitely get some usage out of this. For this, I am in Gotland, light 1.2. Seriously, every one of these is the one, you guys. All right, let's show you what we got going on. So I'm trying to do this very, very little because honestly, if I get too much, it's ridiculous. This is so nice and thin and runny. And can you even, okay, maybe that's a little too little. Now that is much thicker so that you can get the color. And you can see this is my color. I mean, this is not even a question. That's my color. Then the next one, we've got the MAC, which I do like. Now this one, this is really interesting. This one is actually just as runny, which I love, but it's even lighter of a base, which still works absolutely fine for me. I have no problems with that whatsoever. It just blends in perfectly. This one is almost a little bit more tan or peachy, and this one is definitely probably got some whiter pigment in it. And then with the NARS, okay, you're hitting kind of in between these two. But all three of these work absolutely wonderfully well for me. The thing that I am finding, what my issue is, because this is a dumb thing, but not something I realized, okay? I'm spoiled. I love the pump. It dispenses the perfect amount. And I had just finished the Huda Glow Wish, and that had a pump also. And it wasn't until I cut it open that I was no longer using the pump. I'm getting very, very spoiled with having a pump dispenser for getting my foundation or base coverage products. And I have to be careful that I do not then put too much of these in my hand when I am doing my face, because I do use my fingers and smear it all over with all three of these. The other thing that I am finding is that I definitely want as light as coverage as possible. I mean, I really do. I don't have a ton of, like, I don't have rosacea. Yes, I'm very pale, so yes, I'm red. Yes, you can see the black eyes, the whole thing with, I look bruised or look like I have a black eye most of the time. So I need color corrector, that's fine. I just need something that will cover that because I use a very, very peach color corrector. I don't use a ton of concealers. Concealer is not my friend. I think we've discussed that enough on this channel. But I need something that is not thick in consistency because I have a lot of dynamic lines. And everything sinks into those creases. They're never going to go away. They're only going to get worse. I am as old as I am, and they are there, and I smile a lot. It happens. Does it make me self-conscious? Yes, because I hate that sinking into the creases thing. That is the one place that I'll go back and I will buff, throughout the day just to make sure that it's not just sinking and giving you those old lady lines, because that's what I have. But the lighter the coverage, the less likely it is to be very pronounced. So that's the thing. What I am finding down here, I only have the Cover FX, which I have in a project, which is a little bit more dense than these are. So I have to be very careful and use a very light amount of that also. And then I think I have a Tarte Maracuja one. The one that was in the purple. I've used the mini ones before. I think I have one of those down here too. I don't have a ton of highlighters in Minnesota, or foundations. In Minnesota, I have several more. I need to go through and figure out which ones I'm actually happy with. I have the LYS. I think I have a CoverGirl. I don't think I have the Wet n Wild anymore, but there's a whole bunch up there. So at some point, I'm probably going to go through and pull like I did here because I wanted to do the compare and contrast to see what actually does work, which I like, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I love all three of these. I'm very happy that I opened all three, that I tested them back to back to back, because I went through the rotation where I did this one day, this the next day, and then I did this. So, I mean, I got a very good feel for what each of these does. And I love them all. I know I can't get this anymore. So I think that as I start to run out of foundations, when I start to repurchase, if these are still around, these are going to be the ones that I'm going to gravitate towards for future. I think, as of right now. We'll see what happens. Who knows what they'll come out with by the time I actually need a foundation. So that was what I did for the last month with this project. Now, here's what we got going on for this month. I had been starting to collect some nail polishes. I had been working on my nails. I had them grown out. They had gotten fairly long. Unfortunately, I let them get too long. And then because I'm a klutz, I tend to run my fingers into things and then I get splits on the side. So I lost this one first. This one I just cut off today. I've got a tear in the side of this one that will go. I need to cut them all down, file them all up, but when my nails are very short, I have my father's hands. So without polish, with short nails, I literally look at my hand and see my dad's hand. Not the most feminine feeling. It's not a bad thing. I have my dad's feet too, which is really attractive on a woman. Okay, and usually I will make the joke when he had feet. Anybody who knows me well knows that my dad was diabetic all of my life, pretty much. He was diagnosed when I was 3 years old. So it was kind of a standing joke that he became the bionic dad because they just kept giving him new parts and pieces when they had to remove things. He did have both of his legs eventually were amputated. I have hair in my eye, sorry. And then he also had a kidney transplant. My dad was tough and he kept working through all of this. So my dad was my hero in so many ways with regards to that kind of stuff. There it is. Woo. So it's maudlin in some ways and it's probably tacky in other ways. And hopefully this is not offensive or triggering to anyone else. It was literally a joke that my dad and I had with each other. He even joked about being the bionic dad. And I remember, I must have been in my mid-20s. We were sitting next to each other at his house on the front steps. And it was summertime. We were both in shorts and barefoot. And our feet were next to each other. And I looked down and I was like, holy crap, Dad, we have the same feet. So I look like my mom, but I have my dad's coloring hands and feet. So anyway, way more than you ever needed to know. But you're used to the crazy train ramblings. So I want to find colors that will make my hands look a little more feminine and a little less like my father's with the short nails. I will be using the OPI again to get them strengthened. I do take a hair, skin, and nails vitamin. Yeah. But in the meantime, since I have to really file them all down, I wanted to go with softer colors. Because I already have an issue with how I see my hands when my nails are short, I tend to not necessarily like wearing really dark colors on my nails when they're short. I prefer to, like, as long as they are now would be fine. But when I've got them that far down, I'm not as partial to the darker colors. And I don't know why. Because quite frankly, I've been watching Deb's Project Panicure, and I flippin' love the colors that she does. I love the colors Danny's doing. I love all of Mandy's colors. These guys don't have long, fake nails or anything like that. They have real nails. It's literally a psychological block for me. But because I have been, with the help of the ladies, collecting some nail polishes, I went through and found some of the lighter colors, some of the pastels, some things that I haven't yet used that I thought, okay, I'm going to put them into this. I want to use one each week for the next month. It doesn't matter what I do with toppers. I've got some great Cleona stuff I want to try. If I wear them just plain, it doesn't matter. I want to do each one of these colors each week. So we have got 2 from China Glaze. All right, this one is glistening pearls. Oh, wow. So this actually has some sparkle in it. And I don't think, okay, now you're getting the reflection from the ring light. Can you see that there's sparkle in that? I can't tell. But this is almost a hint of a peach pink. This is almost verging on a lavender pink. And this one is low maintenance. So I want to do that. And then I have got one Orly. And this is a really pretty light lavender. So when you see these next to each other, you can tell they're different colors. So the Orly is Provence at Dusk. And then I have one Zoya, which is definitely deeper, but still a light color. And this is in Lena. So these are what I am bringing in for the What's on Deck project. Now, that, in my crazy head, led me to today's music moment. I was thinking, okay, I want to do pastels. Ooh, what's a pastel song? What music would go good for this video? And the first thing that came to mind was Baby Blue, and I don't have a Baby Blue nail polish, oddly enough. But I thought, no, 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 I don't really want to do that. So then I was thinking, oh, okay, well, how about Almost Blue? And then I thought, oh, well, do I want to do that? Do I not? Okay, I decided I'm going to do that. I'm going to find a video for you of Almost Blue. I'm going to link it down below. This is an Elvis Costello song. It's off of, their sixth studio album, the Elvis Costello and the Attractions albums. So that was what the band was when he had that huge hit during this late 70s with the song Pump It Up, which is kind of his foray into, it would have been not mod rock exactly, not exactly punk, but it kind of fit in there. Anyway, that was one of the first things that actually brought him a lot of attention that I remember. And that is where I first found him. It was through that song. Now, this is off of Imperial Bedroom. I want to say it's their sixth album. And it was from 1982. The reason that I wasn't sure I was going to do Elvis Costello is not because I don't love Elvis Costello. I truly do love Elvis Costello a lot. I have seen him live. I have listened to him throughout the decades. I actually just saw his Instagram story. I saw it today, but it's from a couple days ago. There was a release of, it's not an album exactly. It's like CDs and an album, and it has booklets. It was the work that he did with Burt Bacharach for, I want to say it was a play that never actually happened. So if you don't know who Burt Bacharach is, just Google him. You're going to find so many, many things. And in fact, if you've seen the Austin Powers movies, I'm pretty sure Burt Bacharach is in the second one? One of them. The white-haired guy that's playing the piano in the middle of the street, that's Burt Bacharach. He has since passed away. Anyway, so I was watching Elvis Costello, and he was opening this and explaining what the pieces were that were in this set, and talking about meeting Burt Bacharach, watching him as a kid, that his father had known him, and just like that whole span of the stuff that he did with him, that he actually is one of the few people that Burt Bacharach actually allowed to compose while working with him. There's all kinds of cool stuff. So would I love to do something on that? Yes. Are you going to get a music moment that is Elvis Costello and Burt Bacharach in the future? Absolutely. Because they have a song that I adore. The first one they did is actually one of my favorites. So if you want a sneak peek, you can go figure out which one that is, because I'm not going to tell you now. Anyway, Almost Blue is a very soft, very soothing, very melodic, peaceful. Unlike my hyper upbeat crazy, a lot of it is, you get a lot of upbeat from me. This one is definitely very low key. It's not bluesy necessarily, but I actually have it on my blues playlist because it kind of gives me that vibe. So this is my version, or as close to easy listening as you're probably going to get from me. I'm going to link a video for that song down below in the description box with any other information you might need about whatever it is that I do. And I hope that you enjoy it. And, okay. Feel free to check out any other Elvis Costello music. He's going to keep coming back. It's just going to happen. So until next time, everybody, thank you for spending your time with the Crazy Train and letting me go on and on about things that have nothing to do with makeup. You know I love doing that. Until next time, see ya. Bye.